Index Season 2 has something for everyone. Gender equality, nuns in miniskirts, psychotic scientists, cannibalism, more gender equality, and most importantly, no buts. Season 2 begins by finally finishing the 3 stories arc, as the rogue magician Yamisaka Oma attempts to save his cursed as hell girlfriend by kidnapping a nun half his age. Wait, that's kinda sus? He actually wants the knowledge of the toxic magical books in her head so he can devise a spell to save his girlfriend. Oh, and did I mention they were toxic? What did you think was gonna happen, Oma? Kamijo Toma shows up to save Index and tells Oma he has a super special right hand called Imagine Breaker that can nullify supernatural abilities, including the curse. Oh, why didn't Oma think of this when he fought Toma earlier? Because he's an absolute dumbass! Meanwhile, a big titty nun in the Roman Catholic Church known as Ursula Aquinas hates those toxic grimoires and is trying to find a way to destroy the physical books. In her efforts, she allegedly manages to decode a dangerous grimoire known as the Book of the Law, written by our old friend in the Fantatube, Aleister Crowley. But if the contents of the book are used in the wrong hands, it would bring an end to the Christian age entirely. So the church starts what the church does best: a witch hunt. Ursula flees the Vatican and heads all the way to Japan to seek the protection of the Yamakasa Christians. Wait, is that a Fate reference? The Roman Catholics request the cooperation of the Anglican Church cause Christian friends. The Catholics and the magician-style Magnus believe that this small Yamakasa cabal is trying to use the book to replenish their strength after the saint Kanzaki Kaori ditched them for the Anglicans. Wait, but aren't the Yamakasa also Christian? So why would they use a book that can nuke their very existence? Cause it's all a prank. The Roman Catholics are trying to frame Ursula to kill her, while the Yamakasa are actually trying to help her take refuge. But the Anglicans have no idea about this yet. The Roman Catholics, as a result, send the Agnese forces, a 200-plus elite nun task force led by a psychotic lolly redhead known as Agnese Sanctis. So Style decides to get Toma involved by kidnapping Index and leaving Academy City, heading to eastern Tokyo. Toma coincidentally bumps into Ursula, thinking nothing of it, on his route to meeting up with Style and the nuns. After a brief skirmish with the Yamakasa and their leader Tatamiya Saiji, who looks like Mugen from Samurai Champloo, Style and Toma suddenly question, are we the baddies? Meanwhile, Agnese has captured Ursula and acts like a complete sadist towards her, until they are stopped by the combined forces of Toma, Style, Index, and the Yamakasa, who work together to defeat the nuns, with Toma delivering an epic punch to Agnese's face. Not only is she a girl, but she's also an orphan Toma, and yes, he's the hero of the story. For protection, Ursula and the Yamakasa then join the Anglican Church so the Roman Catholics don't try and go after them for revenge, and Toma heads back to Academy City. Now, remember that satellite that got destroyed in Index Season 1? That was the tree diagram, which had a supercomputer that calculated the entire Sisters project, which was where the strongest ASCII Accelerator mass-murdered Misaka clones in the attempt to gain godlike power by ascending to level 6. Well, the teleporter girl who helps people talk to Aleister, Musajime Owaki, is fed up of Academy City's ASCII development system and wants to steal a remnant of the remains from the tree diagram itself. With it, she would be able to provide its data and advanced calculating power to an organization known as the Science Association, which would allow them to test if animals can develop ASCII powers, in order to ultimately replace the humans being treated as lab rats in Academy City. Shirai Kuroko, with the help of Ueharu Kazari, investigates a crime scene and easily deals with some thugs working for Owaki, until the two teleporters come face to face. With Kuroko injured and outmatched, she retreats back to her dorm to treat her wounds and rematches Owaki, but takes another L. Owaki then has a PTSD moment about getting stuck on a wall, causing the building they were in to collapse. Kuroko is luckily saved by Misaka and her one true love, Toma. Owaki thinks she's escaped with the remnants until Accelerator shows up to make sure the Sisters project can't be restarted again, as he's now on his redemption arc. he destroys the remnant and Owaki's face at the same time. Savage! Academy City now has a sports festival known as the Daiheseizai, where the city is temporarily opened up to the public to watch espers compete against each other in a variety of games. Turns out the Roman Catholic Church are pretty pissed off with Academy City after the whole nun fiasco and hatches a plan to take over the city. Lidvia Lorenzetti hires the mercenary magician Oriana Thompson in order to help her perform a ritual at the city using the cross of St. Peter. If activated, it would brainwash everyone in Academy City, turning them into loyal followers of the church. Luckily, the Anglicans and Alistair are aware of this plot. Well, kinda. Their misled data suggests that the cross of St. Peter is instead a spiritual item known as the Stab Sword, which is a pretty dumb name. The Stab Sword would have the ability to easily kill saints like Kanzaki, so it becomes a priority to stop Oriana and Livia, even if it is for the wrong reason. After wasting some time with slice of life moments with Index and Misaka, Toma teams up with Style and Motoharu to chase down and defeat Oriana, which lasts a very long time, and Motoharu gets wasted. They learn that it's not the Stab Sword, but instead the brainwashing papal cross of doom. Oh yeah, and this character everyone forgot about exploded too, I guess. Style jobs, but Toma manages to defeat Oriana, surely saving the day. Wait, the cross Oriana was carrying is a decoy? Lidvia has the real one and is ready to activate it. Well, we're screwed. As the spell is about to activate at the correct time, suddenly, fireworks explode into the sky. Turns out, by blocking the light of the stars to the cross, the ritual cannot work. Really? Their evil plan failed because of fireworks? These fireworks sound like they belong in the Truman Show from how they're scripted. I can just imagine Alistair being on the phone sending orders to fire them at the right time. Anyway, Lidvia tries to escape, but is forced out of her plane by Laura Stewart. She falls and somehow survives. Now, onto the best arc in the franchise. That's a joke, by the way. Turns out Toma isn't unlucky after all, as he's won a free ticket to Venice in Italy. That's definitely not suspicious at all. And of course, it was not planned by Alistair. Anyway, Toma and Index fly over to Italy, where they bump into some familiar faces as they learn that there is a whole armada of magical ice boats known as the Queen's Fleet, ready to depart. Turns out a douchebag priest called Biagio is using the Agnese nuns as slave labor, religious volunteers, on his ships, because he's based in a very evil way. Toma finds the Ambassador Church working for the Anglicans, with them trying to sabotage Biagio's evil plan to use the ice boats and the flagship known as the Queen of the Adriatic to travel to Academy City and destroy it. So Toma frees the nuns and fights some ice statues while delivering a finishing blow to the bishop as he saves the day once more. The Agnese nuns are then recruited to the Anglican Church for standing up to Biagio and cause they were clearly mistreated. The plot to destroy Academy City is foiled, but the Roman Catholic Church doesn't stop there. Turns out the Pope, Motoi Risa, isn't the one who wears the trousers in the church, as a mysterious four-person sect known as God's Right Seat forces the Pope to sign a death warrant on Toma, since this ordinary spaggy-haired boy seems like the one always foiling their plans. Vento of the Front, a member of God's Right Seat, travels to Academy City to assassinate Toma. Which brings us to the next arc. After some slice of life shenanigans involving too many characters for me to mention, Vento uses her Divine Punishment spell to bring the city to its knees. Anyone that sees an image of her and feels malice will be knocked unconscious, but those who aren't scared of her or happen to have an OP right hand that can negate almost any spell are of course unaffected. After ringing up Alistair, thinking she can naively take on Fantatube Man and the entire city on her own, Alistair decides to ring up his trusty henchman and part-time mad scientist, Kihara Amata, to capture Last Order so they can activate an anti-magic weapon to stop Vento. And so Amata and his assault troops known as the Hound Dogs confront Accelerator and steal his lolly away, which gets him very mad. Multiple Hound Dogs are sent to try and kill Accelerator, but that goes as well as you'd expect, as this madman chews on some human flesh. Yummy! And he tracks down Amata. Turns out the weapon Amata is activating is actually Kazakiri Hyoka's scientific angel form known as Fuse Kazakiri, which is powered by the scientific energy from the Misaka clone network. While active, if anyone uses magic in Academy City, then they will feel sick and their internal organs will be damaged. Vento confronts Toma in her attempt to stop Fuse Kazakiri, and Toma learns that she hates science because of amusement parks, and he delivers a well-earned smackdown to her face. Accelerator attempts to stop Amata and the virus affecting Last Order, but his choker runs out of juice, meaning he cannot use his ability and struggles to even move. But don't worry, Index is here, who recognizes that Kazakiri looks very similar to the Angels of the Magic side, and sings a beautiful song to cleanse the virus from Last Order. Alistair then planned that the activation of Fuse Kazakiri would allow the AIM or Esper energy produced will be inputted into Accelerator's electrode, allowing him to access a huge amount of AIM from the entire network, gaining a portion of a scientific angel's power. He manifests the sinister black wings as he blows Amata into space. Accelerator is then blackmailed into joining a group known as Group, a dark side organization under the command of Alistair and the board of directors. Otherwise, Last Order will be in danger if he refused. Back to Toma, as Vento's incapacitated body is taken away by Aqua of the Back, another God's Right Seat member who threatens Toma that if he does anything stupid again, he's coming for his ass. Huh, like that'll ever happen. After Toma talks to Motoharu, who basically says, yeah, World War III is bound to happen now, Accelerator and the girl he punched back in the Remnant arc, Owaki, are now working for the same team, as Academy City is basically threatening that they will hurt her comrades if she rebels, even though she used them as human shields. Motoharu is also now the leader of the group known as Group, as he wants to safeguard his sister as a spy for both magic and science. And the Aztec magician from Season 1, Etzali, also joins as, yeah, he's still a massive simp for Misaka. Accelerator and Owaki get sent to stop the rebellion of Skill Out, formed of many level 0 delinquents and thugs who believe the city's level system is corrupt. Skill Out want to disable the city's communication network, allowing high-level espers to be easily attacked without repercussion. This plan is thwarted as Accelerator and Kamaba fight, which results in the Skill Out leader's death, bringing chaos to the organization as their plan is abandoned and Himazura Shiage becomes the de facto leader. He may not seem important, but he is. Also, turns out Misaka's mom, Misuzu, wants to take her daughter out of the city for concerns over her safety. Academy City aren't happy about this, as Mikoto is a valued level 5 Esper, so they order her mom to be killed. Accelerator is sent to do the dirty work in addition to Skill Out, who are being threatened that if they refuse to comply, then they will be wiped out entirely. Luckily for MILF Suzu, Kamisho Toma is here to save her and manages to rescue her and breaks Hanman's illusion about only high-level espers being able to kick ass. After being kidnapped by terrorists and nearly being murdered, Misuzu thinks, maybe Academy City is actually pretty safe, cause Toma is around. Seriously? To be fair, she was drunk as hell earlier, so I suppose it makes sense. Anyway, Academy City cancels the assassination order, and the group known as Group head off to their next mission, as Index 2 ends. If you would like to see me explain the mess that is Index Season 3, then make sure you subscribe to the channel and let me know in the comments. And check out Index Season 1 Explained if you haven't already.